Data law is law, but for whom? The use and disclosure of data doesn't neatly align with geographic boundaries, so how does legislation address its territorial reach and what's changing in this aspect of the law?
Traditional legal theory is that there's no uniform or standard approach, so everything about the law's analysis of jurisdiction depends on which state or nation's laws you're applying in any given situation and what's the field that you're talking about. Are you talking about tax law? Are you talking about privacy law? Are you talking about defamation law? So it's very, very piecemeal in terms of, or very granular in terms of looking at issues of jurisdiction. Well, privacy law is a good example because there you're talking about cross-border transfers of personal information, so which law applies? In Western countries there tends to be one of two or a combination of two approaches. So the first one is to focus on the individual involved. So where is the individual located? So under the European GDPR, for example, if you have an Australian business and its market European residents or citizens or people residing in the EU, and the Australian company is collecting information about those EU individuals, then GDPR is going to apply to the Australian company. And the second one is what's called, law by lawyers, a vicarious liability. What that says is that if you've got an organisation which is collecting information from individuals in a place, and that organisation then discloses or transfers that information outside that place, and the personal information isn't held or isn't managed in accordance with proper privacy principles, then the first collector is liable for the overseas parties' acts and omissions. In the blockchain and cryptocurrency and smart contracting area, there's a lot being said about so-called digital jurisdictions, and what they generally involve is embedded smart dispute resolution mechanisms which are capable of operating anonymously and automatically. Well, the breaking down of traditional legal barriers and hurdles has many advocates, and a lot is done at a multilateral and bilateral level to have uniform laws and to have consistency of enforcement. But as yet, traditional notions in the legal world of jurisdiction and jurisdiction being based on physical boundaries pretty much still applies, and that's to the great concern and cost of organisations who are totally data-driven.